As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at nflsundayticket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just
speaking into the void?
But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
The Hilton sale is on. Now through September 29th, you can save up to 20% on stays this fall and beyond. Long weekends, last-minute getaways, holiday gatherings. There's a Hilton stay for all of them. More moments, more experiences, more destinations. Now 20% off for a limited time because it matters where you stay. Don't wait. Book by September 29th and save up to 20% at Hilton.com. Terms apply. Hilton for the stay.
Welcome to another Find the Edge production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So welcome everybody to the Premier League Cricket Show, brought to you once again by our friends at B3 Cricket, and joining me as always, I think we've recovered Mr. Newsom, unlike our guest. How are you doing, mate?
Oh, I was very well behaved, yeah. We had a fantastic weekend, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
It was a great day. We're going to talk a lot about the ECB National Cup final that we saw. Joining us also, fresh from a trip to IKEA, or he's probably going to rip me to shreds for that again. From Cric X, Mr. Matt Taaffe. How are you doing, bud?
Yeah, there was no IKEA. It was a weekend moving house for 91 and 92, Nan and Grandad.
Oh,
very good.
And they don't want any IKEA in their house, do they?
No, there's MFI all round.
Walked away with a nice garden set and sun lounger though, so everyone's a winner.
Bonus.
I've just found the title of this pod already. Hey, as I've already said, guys, we've got joining us as our special guest today. We are going to look at the last few games that did go on around the country the weekend, but there was only one game in town as far as we're concerned. National Club Championship final, won by Ormskirk from the Liverpool and District competition, and thank goodness they were in London because it was shit weather up in Liverpool. And joining us today, man of the match, out on Nelson, 1-1-1, Mr. Calum Turner. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, all good, guys. Thank you very much for having me and what's been a pretty surreal weekend. So, thank you very much.
Just a wee bit. Now, I'm going to cut to the chase here, Calum. Okay,
yeah.
Right. Can you remember what happened on the first ball of the 30th over?
I presume this is when I was on 195 and got a pretty good ball the ball still swung through the batting pad and cleaned out me off stump. So and then got about to 30-yard circle, and then I don't think I've ever been barked at by 600 people before to do a Yui and get back in there. So that was just one of many outrageous things to happen this weekend. But,
it was. For those who didn't see this, Callum was bowled by the best ball that Tommy Sturgis bowled all day. That's not me saying it's Sturge. That's your mate, Mr. Neil, said it. He bowled pretty well, but that one was an absolute jaffer that got you. And they had too many people out the circle, or was in the circle, which doesn't matter which way round. They just had too many. And I thought what was really interesting was watching the video back. The first person to say, well done to you for your 95 was Tommy Sturgis. The second was Brad Wadland, the captain from Penzance. And then as the fine leg was coming in to say, well done, as you walked past him, that's when you heard and you turned and went, oh, hang on a minute.
I'd never moved as quick in my life. I don't think I was looking up at the balcony. Obviously, everyone was kind of starting to kind of get up and clap and stuff, and then yeah, I don't know who discovered it, whether it was a square leg umpire had a word and stuff, and then yeah, I think I was surprised at how quickly I'd spun on the spot, and helmet went straight back on, and on we go, and yeah, the rest is history, as they say. So,
well, I was up in the media centre, and I said to you, Ian, right, I'm going to go down, take a photo of getting his 100, and you said, "Oh, don't curse it." I went down the lift, walked out, and then as I walked down the pitch, you got cleaned up. I was like, "Oh," and then all hell broke loose. I was like, "What's going on here?" So
yeah, no, the cheer from the Ormskirk fans when it was confirmed, or when the signal was given to the scorers, which obviously just above the Ormskirk spectators, was possibly one of I reckon the second biggest cheer of the day.
Yeah, I'm going to say this quite sort of I'm going to be quite sort of nice about this now, Hugh. We were commenting, weren't we, that the Ormskirk fans up to that point, they hadn't been as noisy as the Northern and Brentwood fans the previous year. Now, I put that down to two things. Number one, they'd had a lot bloody further to go. And number two, that therefore meant they were on the beer a bit later than the ones.
Yeah, there's definitely an alcohol-related noise equilibrium.
The moment you came back out, well, didn't even come back, turned round, the noise levels from your fans, the Army, just went up, and they stayed there all afternoon then, didn't they?
Yeah, it was they were incredible, and like you said, from that point on, they were just, we couldn't really communicate between each other in the field and stuff, especially when we were fielding. It was they were great.
They were brilliant. It was, for those who don't know, there was 600 fans came down from Ormskirk. Not quite sure how many were from Penzance, because it's just so spread out at Lords, isn't it? That's one of the things there. I do think Penzance owned the pavilion. I think they definitely had more of the pavilion. But we're on that short boundary where you guys were playing to. The Army were all over it, left, right, and center, including, can't believe I'm saying this, Hugh, including the Hankins boys and Gavin Griffiths from Hornchurch. We know who they were supporting, to say the least, weren't they?
Yeah, it was I think they were making a whole stands worth of noise all on their own, particularly at the end. I mean, it all got very rowdy at the end there, didn't they? And they really got stuck in.
It did. So you guys got to 2-1. Yeah, lost it. You guys got to 2-1-7, Callum.
Yeah.
What was the first thoughts as you guys go in the changing rooms there? Was that enough? Because I'll tell you what somebody said to me at half time.
My gut instinct at half time was possibly maybe 5 or 10 short. I think once I came off the bat, I had 220 to 240 in my head. I just think it was quite tacky when the pace was off, and I said even when obviously we were bowling and stuff, I think if you hit the kind of the middle and off stump on, you weren't going for runs. You're going to have to take a risk. It was quite hard to hit straight back down the ground off a decent length. So I knew that it wasn't going to be, and obviously their kind of 3 or 4 bowling, their bowling attack was had plenty of pace behind it. So it did kind of come on, especially in that first 10. But after kind of their overseas and obviously spin and the other medium pacer, it was a lot tougher going to really kind of force it really. So it was probably about 5-10 short. I had kind of my head and stuff, and we needed a good start. We didn't quite get it, but then obviously what followed was unbelievable really from us. So
both teams went very, very similar at the top there. I mean, we were sort of thinking 300 could have been on after your start. You were 70 odd for no wicket off 10. Penzance were 70 odd for no wicket off 10. And then when the shine came off the ball, it was a totally different game. It felt like that, aren't they?
Yeah, literally, as you say, kind of, you're thinking of final, you're at Lords, you're on a small boundary, you're 70 for none off 10, you're looking 280 kind of, so that 300 mark, and you're thinking you're going to have to get that, you have to keep going and stuff. But like you said, when it was apparent that as soon as they hit the top of the stumps, it was difficult to get away, and whatnot. Obviously, we lost a couple of wickets, so kind of just changed how my approach a little bit. But yeah, that was obviously revised, and then obviously that kind of cluster of wickets, we just knew that at least 200 was going to be a score in a final, because it's such a big occasion. you're always in with a shout, especially with early wickets.
Yeah, definitely. And talking on the sidelines, here's the one that you're bang on with the numbers that you've said. George Hankins sat there on the side. He sort of knows what he's talking about, Hanko. I mean, I'll rip him to bits most of the time, but he does know what he's talking about. He said, if you get to 225, game on. And that's bang on what you're at. Now, when you got to 217, you're there and thereabouts. I think what's fascinating, though, Callum, is you got out for 111. So you scored 16 more runs after that incident. Only won by 25. Bit squeaky bum when you look at it that way, isn't it?
Yeah, that didn't cross my mind until I saw that you put that out this morning. I think the only thing that kind of is kind of a superstitious kind of thing when that incident happened, I thought, well, I've got to get 100 now. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't get a second chance like that very often. Bowled off a no ball, off a front foot no ball, fair enough, but not for something as daft as that. So obviously my head was then just getting 100, and then it's just a bit of a, like you said, a bit of a loss of concentration, but the lack of decent execution kind of got sucked in a little bit, I guess, from the small side and the gap that was in there to play a reverse sweep. I've not played one all day, but
absolutely.
But yeah, for the lads to scramble and get that extra, I think it was out kind of 180 oddish when I was out. To scramble and get that extra 30 odd runs was obviously massive.
Yeah.
What's it like walking out to bat at Lords?
I think that's the bit I can't quite compute still the whole innings and stuff like that. I think it was such a surreal kind of couple of hours, but that's the one thing that does kind of is so striking, that you walk out the dressing room, you walk past, you've got Sobers holding Richards, and then you walk under Don Bradman, and then you've literally got the home of cricket in front of you. That's like such a striking image of the whole sport. So to get to do that was just amazing.
Did it? And when you were facing that first ball, was it another game of cricket at that point, or was it still, I'm at Lords here?
I reckon it was probably after that. I just said to myself the day before, I was like, just get one away. Like, I think after that first kind of 5 minutes, everyone's still nerves in the legs and stuff like that. Get your feet moving early, and then I guess it was that for me, the game was kind of then locked in, and we've got a job to do here and stuff. So
yeah, it sort of settled into a proper game of cricket. It didn't seem. I was commenting to Ian through the day. Once that veneer of Lords had settled, it was a game of cricket, wasn't it? And we were wandering around Lords as if it was a local club ground.
Yeah.
And obviously you're out there playing, but it felt like it. People just switched into normal cricket mode.
Yeah, I think that was the major benefit of netting the day before. I think as a side comment, I think they were amazing. The MCC and Lords, they basically give us the run of the place, and it was they treated us like international cricketers basically. So it was a really good experience, and just having a net on the nursery ground, getting to go and have a look at the pitch on Friday, it just completely desensitised everything. I think, and it just allowed the lads that did turn up just to, like you said, get stuck in, and it's a club game of cricket at the end of the day. So yeah.
Now you say they treated you like internationals, but come on now. Are you going to have your name on that board? Because I've seen that masking tape. I've seen that Calum Turner.
Yeah,
I think your name should be on that board, and so should Sam Holden's.
Well, exactly. So yeah, again, that was from one of the attendants in the.
Really?
Like I say, so we had John Simpson with us all day, pretty much. Obviously, he's got some ties to Ormskirk. I think he played a couple of seasons there.
Okay.
15, 16 years ago. He's got a big presence down at Middlesex. He was with us all day, and he got one of the attendants to bring that roll of masking tape in and let us do it and stuff, which was it just adds to another little cherry on the cake, really.
That is applause to John Simpson. I mean, to hear that, Hugh, I mean, that just tops it. Silly that a piece of masking tape can top it off you.
Yeah, and you got Michael Vaughan rocking up as well. Apparently he rocked up. I don't know whether any of you guys saw him, but he was there.
We didn't. Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, we didn't see him, but I saw the tweet.
Yeah, but we took advantage of it. Not surprisingly.
Yeah.
I've got to ask our mate Mr. Taaffe, as the only Premier League player amongst the three of us who come on here week in, week out. How good does it sound listening to that? What Callum's just described compared to walking out at Stanley Park?
I was very jealous. It's a cricketer's dream, isn't it? And then to get 100, that's just bucket list, live complete stuff.
Yeah, I think that was the. I mean, obviously, again, 100 didn't even enter my mind, but that kind of the first straight drive back past the bowler, that was again like one to tick off, and yeah, to get that 100 is just like you say, I can't really put that into words. I'm only kind of coming down from the actually winning the game, so
yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's not going to get done again in a hurry, I don't think.
And I have to say, I was really, really pleased in particular. He only scored 29 in the end, but I was so pleased with G-Paul. George Politis has had to be frank, a shit run in the club championship, hasn't he?
I mean, to be fair to him, he's had some fair decent balls to.
No excuse, he's had a shit run. Come on.
He got cleaned up by Tom Davis in the semi, ball that probably caught a good two or three stumps. The same up at South Northumberland, he got a bit of a low kind of Yorker stroke full toss and played over that, and that was a decent ball. And then I think one against Northern. Which is sometimes, despite him getting 100 at Moore Park this year, he has been found wanting a little bit, I guess, against them. So, but yeah, pleased for him just to get that first one away and get into the game. I think it's something that we've prided ourselves on, the pair of us. I don't know the complete stats, but we always say to ourselves, if we're 50 for none, then we rarely lose. For the top of my head, I think we've only lost one. Certainly this year where we've been 50 for none. So I think that was crucial to setting the game up, basically. So
absolutely. How difficult was Johnny Ludlam to face? When he came on and just pulled the ball back compared to the seamers. And Johnny's their inverted commas old timer, but he's wily to say that just changed the game, didn't it?
A little bit. He obviously got a massive wicket getting Gary out. It was a bloody sharp piece of work from the keeper.
Did he bowl for that? What do you reckon?
I don't think he's planned to get him shaft him down the leg side. It was something that I think personally I would probably like to be a bit more aggressive against him, but you just know that I think it was such a crucial time in the game. I think he came on a good time for them just to burn a few overs off. It kind of helped. I think that Brad Wadland. He could held himself back as long as he could from the right end and stuff. Obviously, I think it was probably down to having a left hand, right hand in, and the mechanics of that short boundary. But it was a. You knew we were going to get scoring opportunities, but it's that kind of do you really want to take that risk with 10, 15 overs to go? Yeah. Maybe with a couple less wickets, we could have gone a bit harder in, but like I said, that kind of bowling, what kind of medium pace bowling was kind of the toughest to face all day.
Absolutely.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Let's cut to the other end of the chase. How deep did you go Saturday night?
I was actually very good on. Oh, sorry, Saturday night. That was late. That was that was early hours. I strong back in those.
Which for you was fine because in theory you would have been at your brother's wedding anyway. So
exactly, yeah.
It was on plan, wasn't it?
We only just about beat them, I think, in terms of that. So although they had a biblical rainstorm all day, so they were struggling in that. So, but yeah, that's another thing that's just just adds to the narrative of the whole thing. Is just it's bonkers, really. But yeah, it was a good. Yeah, we've definitely celebrated it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I saw a video of you guys walking across the pitch back at your place yesterday when you arrived back at Ormskirk to be greeted by all of the supporters. It's fair to say you were all walking a little bit slower than you were when you were running around like lunatics at the end of the game.
Absolutely, I think all of our bodies had completely seized up. Absolutely, I think we'd all obviously had 2 or 3. Had a bit of a nightmare getting back from London on the trains and stuff. An Uber that got cancelled and a train that got missed, and next time, and then we had to divert the train on the way home. So yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, once we all then got back and stuff, it was more of an amble than a. We were all actually commenting on like just the difficulty. We've obviously been at Lords the last 2 days, and then you walk back onto a club outfield, and obviously you've seen Ormskirk. It's like it's a Lynx outfield, like in comparison.
Hey, can we talk about outfields? Come on, Hugh and I, we were in. I think the only way to describe it is complete awe. Did you find any weeds in that outfield while you were out there? Because I looked all afternoon and it was the most beautiful piece of grass I've seen in my lifetime at Lords.
I'm not surprised. They had about 30 people on a mower on Friday afternoon. There was and I kind of looked in kind of the grass collecting boxes, and they're empty. I didn't know what they were taking out. They were taking the tiniest little bit off each time they went across. But yeah, no, it was just unbelievable service. And even like compared to other kind of county grounds I've had the opportunity to play at, it was just outstanding. Oh, yeah, the best I've seen.
It was like you could sleep on it. It was firm and soft.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it really was. Yeah, like a carpet, basically.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It wasn't even shag pile. It was just that low.
No,
it was. The moment we walked on it, we were like, "What is this stuff that we're walking?" It just not felt anything like that ever before, and that's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was a bit worried. Like we were at Worcestershire last year, which was fantastic, and we were worried that Lords was going to feel cavernous and empty, and in fact, it didn't at all. There was plenty of noise, there's plenty of atmosphere, and the way that the MCC looked after everybody was absolutely terrific. It felt like home, didn't it? It was a really special day, regardless of the result. I think hopefully the Penzance lads can walk away, happy that they've taken part in such a great day, because it felt like, it didn't feel like we were stepping on anybody's toes, did it? No.
Yeah, no, not at all. They couldn't have done any more just to make both sides feel like that. Like I said, it was almost like it's comparable to what you'd expect international lads to get all day and stuff. So yeah, they couldn't have done any more.
Let's turn to the rest of the country just very briefly, because I know there was a little bit of cricket going on elsewhere, and we do need to pass comment on it. I thought there was a real nice synergy to what was happening at Lords on Saturday when Ormskirk were beating Penzance. And at Trent Bridge, Worcester were beating Hampshire in the Metro Bank with a certain Ben Allison, who on the same weekend last year was the guy who did for Northern in the Club Championship final, and he had a bloody good game for Worcester playing against Hampshire. So yeah, I sent a message to him yesterday saying congratulations to Ben. He seems to come good at the end of the season, doesn't he, Hugh?
Well, yeah, I mean, we saw his quality last year, and then he's gone and won the game for Worcester as well. So he's got an ECB National Championship and then the One Day Cup back-to-back years. So yeah, maybe Calum, that's your direction now. Bit of a pro contract.
Absolutely. In the rest of the Premier Leagues, though, around the country, I mean, I think it's fair to say, Hugh, not a lot happened because Liverpool and District, Calum and the boys were thankful that they'd got it done the week before, because a whole rate. Then again, if you'd have drawn the week before against Birkenhead Park, you'd have still won by it being rained off, wouldn't you? So you'd have been okay.
Yeah. Now we have kind of a little joke kind of at Ormskirk and stuff that if they need to play at Moor Park, they'll get it on. Now, obviously, I don't think the kind of the biblical rain that fell in the northwest on Saturday, they could have done anything about it. But I think the big thing is that we couldn't get enough points the week before in a draw to make it safe. I think, and then kind of best case scenario, they'd have been level and one on batting points, which would have been obviously awful. But
that in joke though has gone, because we know your skipper took a van with a super sofa and covers over to Birkenhead Park to make sure he got a bloody game on. So, never mind Moore Park,
no,
game night.
yeah, no, he did. We did everything. There was, I think the worst part of that, we got most of the square covered, and then at Birkenhead Park they've got the old kind of the corrugated steel things that weigh about 3 ton each, and they all had about one full tire on each one, and it took about 6 lads to kind of cover an end and stuff. So yeah, that was another kind of surreal day, really, to be honest, because to hit for Sam to hit a six off the last ball in fading light in them conditions was just, yeah, gobsmacking basically.
Brilliant end. That was the Liverpool and District. Also wiped out at the weekend. All Staffs and South Cheshire League, which was a bit of a shame, really, Hugh, because we bigged that one up as a big finish, didn't we, between Stone and Leek, and in the end, Stone are champions.
Yeah, it was decided the week before. A couple of Celtic results the week before, but yeah, total washout did for Stone. But yeah, really good season there, and it's. I mean, who'd have thought playing cricket in the 20th of September could cause a difficult weekend? But yeah, back to back. I seem to remember a very similar weekend. Biblical rainfall this time last year as well.
Interestingly, Leek had picked Rory Hayden as well, so he'd only bowled 4 overs for Derbyshire the week before. And he was he was in the squad like he wasn't going to play on Saturday, so that would have made life interesting. But elsewhere, you lot of Cric X have got no one left in the country, don't think, have you, Taff?
I haven't got a single person.
Not
unfortunately.
One. Not one.
20th of September, they're all first class cricketing.
Absolutely, which means we have to turn to Hugh to find out, did anyone get a ton around the rest of the country, down in Lincolnshire or Northants?
Lincolnshire, we had 3 leagues. Well, it was a few more than that. We got North South Cheshire rained off. Northants, we had a game. Liverpool District rained off. We got Lincolnshire, and we got Huddersfield, which was rained off. So that was your lot. So basically, everything here is happening in Links or in Northamptonshire. We've got a bit going on in terms of runs. High scores, Prashana Kanderi at Scunthorpe against Sleaford. He's got 117 with the Links Prem. Ollie Caswell's got 109 for Woodall Spa against Market Deeping. And Chinaka Ruansiri for Rushton and Hyam Town in Northampton. He got 100 not out off just 74 balls. Those are the 300s that we got. So yeah, it's a very quiet weekend. Obviously last weekend of the season, but good on Lincolnshire for being east and being the driest place in the country, basically.
So yeah, Priyanshu Kanduri with more runs consolidated himself at the top of the Premier League run scorers across the whole country there then, Hugh.
Yep, top. I've got it 1671 runs, an average of 120. Useful.
Yeah, he's decent, isn't he, to say the least? Talking of decent, though, Hugh Weebigan, who we bigged up all season in the Surrey League, playing for Sunbury, top run scorer for the Surrey Championship, goes back to Australia. First innings, 17 not out. Next innings, 115 not out. He's used all that Surrey Championship practice to go down and play List A cricket and continue where he left off with the Big Bash, basically, for last year, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, this wasn't just any old game either. This is WA Queensland. You've got Queensland, everyone's keeping an eye on Marnus to see whether he can get in enough form and get back in the Australia side for the Ashes. He's got 2. Queensland are in a heap. Hugh Weebigan's hit 115 off 94 balls to win the game. So, it's a hell of an effort. So you might be looking away from Marnus and towards Hugh Weebigan. So yeah, fantastic from him. But yeah, keep an eye. It's currently the Australian bat-off for a couple of spots in the Ashes. So the Marnus spot is certainly one of them.
Now, the question for Calum is, do you know how many Premier League runs you've scored this year?
I do, only because I know that I fell 19 short.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah, again, that's something else that Gary's fault, declaring me on the Saturday after 26 overs. So, yeah, but and obviously I had to bat one way and one way only on the Sunday. So to get that.
Hang on, you're not getting away with that. You've had 21 innings. You're not telling me that one cost you 19 runs.
I felt like it's the easiest opportunity. I didn't say to myself. I in all honesty, yeah, there's quite a few. I said to myself that I didn't know. I said, sounds quite kind of self-degrading this, but like not saying I didn't deserve it, but I didn't get off to an amazing start on a Saturday, and then obviously had a really good string of runs, but kind of stalling, kind of between 50 and 65 probably, instead of really kicking on and getting some big 50s and a couple more hundreds really. But I can't argue with the kind of the streak I've had in the second half of the season really.
I think we need to do the final calculations, including last weekend, but I think you're in the top 30 in the country.
That's good. I'll absolutely take it.
Probably just on the outside, but 981 runs, Premier League runs at 50, so 49.05, let's call it 50. 750 to 200s. Manny McKernan with 1,116 runs ahead. He's averaged 100, and then below you, Ian Cobain, he's done all right as well, hasn't he? So, and you're ahead of Gary as well, so that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, he'll take some pleasure being ahead of Gary because he declared when he was after 26 overs. Be about right. Anything in the bowlers there, Taff? Obviously, nothing your lot have done over the weekend.
I've got nothing. Genuinely nothing. Got not a single player played.
We are going to come back to talking about moving houses if you're not careful. What about Hugh? Hugh, is there anyone with any big wickets?
We've got 3-5 for Barrett Hussain, for Peterborough against Findon, and Drew Briley 530 as well. Findon against Peterborough. They shared the wickets between the two of them in that game, each getting a 5 for each. And then Rushton have Janaka Ruwan Siri. He's got 5 for 50 as well, so he's had a good day out.
Yeah,
that's in the Northants League. So yeah, that's it. There's quite a few forfers knocking about, but so Gary's forfers popped up there as well.
Yeah, I think isn't that fascinating? That one week Gary's taking a 4 for the next week he gives the best wicket keeping display I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
but he'll only talk about his bowling performance anyway a bit longer and stuff. So
that game's in my database was obviously Saturday, so that's why that one's popped up. But
yeah, it's so I think the fascinating result of the weekend in the Premier Leagues, and not that it made a jot of difference, was seeing second place Peterborough Town bowl out Findon Dolben, not Findon, Hugh. That's your Exmouth, isn't it? You want to take the mickey out of me with Exmouth. You keep saying
Findon, is it? Right.
Yeah, Findon Dolben, according to you, Findon, according to me, bowled out for 88, but they'd won the championship in Northampton. Clearly, it was going to be a end of season game, Hugh.
And they were at home as well. So yeah, it was. I think the bar was accessed early.
Yeah, without a doubt, definitely. I mean, why wouldn't you, to say the least? But that is all the Premier Leagues wrapped up, and you will see over the next week or two, we'll be putting all kinds of bits and pieces of stats out there from around the Premier Leagues, all 33 of them. And for anyone who is interested, I don't think it's this Sunday, but it'll be the following Sunday. We take over the Premier League 4 pages in the cricket paper. Once again, me and Mr. Newsom, we will fill it with stats, stories, and everything from around the Premier Leagues. All 4 pages of
Errors.
Say again? Errors, yeah. No, they're play cricket. That's play cricket. That's nothing to do with me and you.
Blame
we have the same caveat. It's subject to play cricket.
That's it.
Which is always the same. But it's nice to be able to do that and put it out there with all the bits and pieces. And there's some interesting stories that we'll be picking up there, I'm sure, without a doubt. Let's go back, though, to the ECB final, shall we, Hugh? And bowling. Is it fair to say your opening bowlers didn't get to do what they wanted to do, Callum? Because I predicted, by the way, Toby Bulcock coming on to open.
Yeah.
But having Jack Paul go off injured threw your plans out a little bit, didn't it?
I think he would only bowled maybe 1 or 2 more, but it was certainly when Brad, who's a lefty, came back in, it was going to be Conte who came on, who bowled kind of generally outswing and stuff, and he did nearly create a chance, didn't he? But I guess you can't legislate for people retiring hurt and whatnot. So yeah, I felt maybe we planned to hit the stumps as much as we could. I think we was just maybe a fraction off it. I think Marshy would be completely honest someone. He didn't hit the stumps enough in them kind of first 3 or 4 overs. And obviously someone as imposing as Christian Purchase is, you haven't got much margin for error at all, or else, like Sam found out, you could end up on the top deck of Lords quite readily. So
it was on the short side. Don't build Purchase more than he needs to.
But yeah, I think once we got through that kind of first 10 overs or whatnot, and we got that first wicket, I think there was a good rhythm built from Sammy Holden and Jamie Barnes, which again the pair of them have done all year. So
yeah, I think that was the key for you guys. Once you got into them, and you've just used a word that I hadn't thought of it was just rhythm. It just constantly just seemed to be the same thing. You tell me, you were out in the middle. We thought that your bowlers got a lot more swing out of the ball early doors than the Penzance bowlers did.
Yeah, I think Sam got quite a bit out of it early on, and obviously Nicky bowling quite big away swingers to the lefty. I guess it's just kind of kind of bowling types really. There, I think it was Dennis. He was very much hit the deck, try and get a little bit of seam out of it and whatnot, and that Sturgis, he did kind of swing a few back down the slope early on, but he got it again. Going back to the 30th over, he was still getting it to go back in, back end of his spell. So yeah, we did feel massively in the game because it was the medium paces. There was slope aside, it was still doing a fair chunk kind of both ways. So and especially Penzance's overseas as well. Samwell, he kind of stood the seam up and got it going both ways as well. So there was always promising signs in the first innings to say that, what, regardless of the start we had, again, very similar starts.
Yeah.
Jamie Barnes is, very, very rarely misses the stumps. So we always knew he was going to be in play on that wicket. So, and just to back your point up, like something that one of our massive strengths is kind of getting a sniff of momentum, wrestling it back, and then just running with it. And I think that was what kind of won the day really in the second innings. Just one after the other, just relentless question asking.
You guys call it the Orby squeeze.
Yes.
Without a shadow, once you got into them, that rhythm gave that squeeze, didn't it? And
massively.
I don't know how many videos I've got of 90 behind the stump, stood up to Barnesy, taking it just out. And I mean, the U's and R's were just constant because it was just ball after ball after ball, wasn't it? And that was the squeeze.
Oh yeah, and that's, like I said, that's been a whole season thing, or since I joined 3 years ago. That's been a kind of a trademark kind of Ormskirk thing, especially on a Sunday, with people like Jamie and Toby, in general, and Sam Holden. A lot of dots, a lot of questions asked, and then they've got to take chances, and then that's where our rewards come.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
My view is that you Ormskirk just looked that little bit more battle hardened as well. Like you've been through a lot together over the last few years, had a lot of success. It just seemed that because both teams are in that slightly precarious position with both sides getting off to a flyer, and then those middle overs you were able to wrestle it back and then win the day, whereas Penzance got into a very similar position, but they weren't able to just get over that hurdle and keep the score under 200.
Yeah, I think did their league finish back end of August as well? They had a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
They've had a bit. There's no easy ride to a national final at all, but they've had a couple of more straightforward games. We even going back to just to our semi-final, there was a hole bitten through my hoodie in that batting chase. But even at the start of that day, Noel and Dorridge were 150 for 2 at drinks, and to manage to bowl them out for 238, I think it was again that another display of that. Jamie Barnes getting us back into the game just by hitting the stumps kind of 50 times. So to speak, literally 50 times. So.
You talk about you've been at Ormskirk 3 years now. Yeah. Looking at your numbers today, the one thing I've noticed is each year's got better and better. Yeah. When you left Formby and went across to Ormskirk, you went from a 58 average in one year down to 30 the year after. What's taken you mentally to get from that back up to where you are now with that 50 plus average?
Couple of things. Formby's a shirt front, with an AstroTurf as kind of a third of the outfield, and it's a 104 ground Formby. The We had a very wet summer in 2023 and whatnot, and we were very bowling heavy. I think I'm a player that's, the more comfortable I get kind of with my surroundings, the more expressive I've been, and I've found something this year a little bit different in terms of marrying kind of Saturday and Sunday cricket up. Kind of, 55 over league cricket in the Liverpool comp is kind of, it's almost similar to kind of Sundays in the way that there's only two out, the best bowlers are on, and that's something that we've done as a batting unit all year in the league, is can we kind of play almost the same way? So I think getting a good routine with that, and the game not having to change much on a Saturday and Sundays really helped this season and whatnot. So yeah, and listen, obviously I hope the trend continues, of course I do, but yeah, it's just been a really good year for all the lads and stuff, and yeah, obviously over the moon to contribute as I have.
Where'd you go from here? Now you've done that.
Well,
is it like the time you just go, do you know what, I'm done. I've won cricket.
Well, there's a couple. If you go to, if anyone who's followed Toby Bulcock's cricketing career, I think he's bowled the overs of about 10 men, kind of thing. So, and he's won pretty much everything there is. So
he's not allowed to stop. I'm not having it. I'm telling you, if Tom Sefton carries on, Toby Bulcock's got to carry on. That's the rule, isn't it? In
yeah, yeah. No, there is a little bit between them, but yeah, he's just been an unbelievable character. He's such a enigmatic character, really, to have as on a Saturday, especially in league cricket, when you can.
I'm going to interrupt you on that one, because Hugh will know where I'm going with. Enigmatic describes exactly what we saw when he didn't think something went Ormskirk's way. Remember, Hugh?
Well, I'm not sure we can repeat it.
Exactly. Yeah. And he was only in the field at the time, wasn't he? And he chuntered like nothing else.
I'm sure it was a chunter. It was a bit more than a chunter, yeah. But yeah. We'll not mention what he said.
It'd be
imagine that 23 weeks of the year. That's not a rare occurrence that Toby can share his opinions when he's disagreed with the
good way
an on-field decision. Yeah, it is something that I think Gary's managed really well over the last couple of years, because he's again, there's no denying it's there for everyone to see. Toby's a big character, and I think that Gary's really kind of been able to tether it up and down when he's needed. I think Toby did that really well. He kind of, especially on Saturday, he knew he basically had the bulk of the last hour's work.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what he needed to do. He was kind of quiet and slipped under the radar, waiting for them to make a move. And he really kind of obviously drove the run rate required from what was 5 and over just after drinks to up to 8s, and then that we've got them then, basically.
At any point in that chase of Penzance, did you have that little bit of a what's, because they were up on it for a long time. Brad Waddle and we can't believe even right now that Brad actually got out, because he looked like he was going to be there for about a week, didn't he?
I think he fell victim in the end to watching wickets fall at the other end, and kind of having to change his game a little bit. Whatnot. I don't think it was a ball he'd overly play if he had to. But yeah, I think Sorry, Buddy Batcher thing just came on the screen.
Yeah. Did you get squeaky at all?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Again, this is about being kind of battle hardened again. I think go back to our quarter-final game at South Northumberland. We had a very similar position. We got Adam Cragg out 5 down. I think we were about 100 for 5, chasing 210 or something, and they had a young Durham Academy lad that came in at 8, and I've never seen as clean hitting him. Almost as if like it was a bit of a fever dream kind of thing. It was like, what on earth's going on? Having all of us playing a lot of cricket, and I've never seen as clean striking, good playing a spin from a young lad ever. I don't think so. I think, and then obviously that game finishing the way it did. obviously that kind of, you think that's going to come back in again, and obviously thankfully it did. I think the difference this time, I thought we've taken a lot with 8 down.
Yeah,
we know we won. They've got to play no miss cricket for quite a while, and it's so hard to do, especially at Lords.
Most definitely. I think what was interesting for us on Saturday in particular, you had them down at 124 for 7 when you got Brad Wadland out. He'd held the innings together with his 35 in the end. And when you got the 124 for 7, and Tommy Sturgis is at the crease, you've still got Johnny Ludlam, Tom Dennis, and Samwell to come in. You are thinking, we're here, boys, we've got it now. But let's be brutal about it. Sturge, Johnny Ludlam, Dennis, and Samwell were just a pain in the arse in those last few overs, weren't they?
Yeah, it's probably a good way of putting it. We were just hoping. We've had a lot of close run games that thankfully we've come on the right side of, but it's a national final. It's not gonna get given to you on a plate whatsoever. We had to work hard. I think we had in our head that yes, they're gonna get a few boundaries.
Yeah.
We just got to stick to our task, and we'll create a chance. And we did.
Well, I think when you've got someone 124 for 7, and then the next partnership is 39, and then the next partnership is another 30 odd or something. That's what we were on the sidelines, weren't we? Going, oh, count this down, but not sure where this is going to go, Hugh.
Well, just that last bit until the final wicket went, it was still very much in the balance, wasn't it? That 2 sixes from someone in the last couple of overs, and it was a different game altogether, wasn't it? But yeah, it would. Well, thankfully for Ormskirk, he didn't quite get too close.
Yeah, Samwell came out with one mission. There's no two ways about it, which was clear his leg, and I'm going to clear the ball, but it didn't happen.
No, and it's one of them things. I think if Toby had bowled another over at him, then yeah, potentially he could have. It's such a short boundary on that side, and obviously he's a first class cricketer, so he's going to know how to hold a bat, even if he's coming in at 11. I did feel though that if we get enough balls at the stumps off the seamers, that he'll miss one. Again, thankfully did, and
exactly.
The reaction at the end was just something
that's what I was going to come to. I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you, that Sam Holden takes the last wicket for his fifer as well, and he hadn't been the most economical bowler on the day, but he's the one who'd hit the stumps, which is the main thing. And to get a fifer on Lords and actually not be man of the match because his mates already had a ton. How pleased could you be for Sam? Because he had a bit of a stinker with his bat, didn't he?
Yeah, again, he got a decent ball second ball in. We joined Ormskirk at the same year 3 years ago, and he lives. We're both from Manchester. So yeah, he's just such a great lad to have around the dressing room. Like he's such a we had literally a conversation this morning with a couple of lads, and he's. If you look at his stats and stuff like that, you kind of can't, you don't get the full picture at all. He's such a big impact player with bat and ball, and he's played a lot less this year, due to family commitments and stuff. But he's, the times that he's come in and played, especially the national games on a Sunday, I think it's been a big mission for him. Some of the 5-6 over spells he's bowled have been really, really, really top draw. So, just over the moon. He's such a nice lad, and whatnot. And again, like especially, you think, getting a duck at Lords, you think it's all kind of crumbling apart a bit. But again, strength of character he's got, which again you saw in the semi-final as well. He went, I think his first 2 overs in the semi went for 25-30, and then he came back really well with some really good death bowling there. So, yeah, such a good lad to have around the dressing room. Yeah.
And to cap it off for us, Hugh, the best photo of the day, taken not by me, not by you, but by your Toby, of Sam Holden splattering those stumps at the end.
That's it, yeah. He was still concentrating right to the end, so good on the lad. But he keeled over not too long after that, because we'd been up 5:45, so yeah, he ended in a bit of a heap. But yeah, no, it was a great photo, that. But the trouble with that is it just makes you want to buy more camera gear, doesn't it? Oh dear, so this being expensive. It was a terrific. I've actually got the video. I haven't sent you the video. I'll ping that over. I'm sure you've got it as well. But yeah, the final wicket video.
I've got that many. I can't remember what I've got. I just have to pick
it's just the reaction at the end. So we'll send it over and we'll put it on the Premier League Cricket Club.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I loved about Saturday afternoon in particular, and I said this to Hugh on text yesterday, when you guys had won and you guys then belted it over to where the fans were, And my mate Hugh did exactly what he did at Worcester last year. He was in amongst it. The camera was there, capturing it all. And we thought it was good when the boys came off for Brentwood and went through the fans. But to see what was going on at Lords on Saturday, Hugh, I mean, you said it, mate. You could get quite emotional looking at that, couldn't
It
you?
was, yeah. I was almost tearing up, and there was a lot of tears in the crowd. I mean, an awful lot of tears in the crowd. You know, it meant so much to everybody. It was absolutely fantastic. Just showed you what club cricket's all about, really, isn't it? It's what cricket's all about. It doesn't matter necessarily whether it is the Lord's game, but I mean, my club's got a promotion this year, and goodness me, that went down. You know, like a huge party there. People were partying for 2 days, and that's from going from Div 3 to Div 2, and it's the same all over the country. It's just club cricket is absolutely incredible.
When that wicket went down, Callum, who did you who did you go for? Because obviously half your family, most of your family were up at a bloody wedding.
Well, yeah, well, that was the thing, and the thing is, I was a buddy after buddy full day, full season of cricket. I was at third man, about 150-meter dash away, so trying to catch people. So I think it's such a good, like, tight knit community club that it was just kind of whoever you can see kind of thing. There's a lot of people there that have made really good friends with and whatnot, and obviously just the team that I've been in has just been great for 3 years and whatnot. It's just, like I said to you on Saturday, it's a just reward for everything everyone at the club's worked for a lot longer than before I joined. And it's just, that was what's kind of really let the win sink in more than anything, is just seeing like you said, walking past everyone in the crowd and then in the pavilion, just seeing, like you said, a lot of tears, a lot of emotion and stuff, just because, these people there that have been at the club for 50 plus years, and to see them get the day out and to say that we've won the national is incredible.
Yeah, and I think the two people that stood out for me in the crowd, there was that lady, Hugh, who she wanted to hug everyone, but she didn't know who to hug, and she was in tears. And then you got Gav Griffiths hugging absolutely everybody. I tell you what, if somebody doesn't try and get Gav Griffiths back to Ormskirk, the way he was reacting there, the whole church lads can go and stick it, I think, to say the least.
Yeah.
I think we'd try if we could. I think he's got commitments down in London, but I think he would jump at the opportunity to come and play at Ormskirk still.
Well, we've heard of people getting helicoptered up to the northeast, haven't we? So
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend who's in the West End, and he can't really just disappear up north, can he? So it was great to see all those people down there, though, and I had a great chat with Tommy Sturgis's parents, who I've known Tommy a number of years because he played up in Derbyshire as well, and just to talk to them about what it meant to these people, give a great shout to Neil Tregarthen, the guy behind Penzance. We had a wonderful chat with him, Hugh, didn't he? Neil's had some grief. Let's be brutal about this, about money and all this type of stuff going into Penzance. But you know what? When you talk to him, he's a proper cricket man. He was the only man. I don't know if you noticed this. The only man in the pavilion in a tracksuit, because he was part of the team rather than his shirt. And he was a nervous wreck, wasn't he, Hugh?
He was, yeah. It meant so much to him, didn't it? And I think whilst they didn't get over the line, watch this space. I think we might see him go again. But it's so tough to get to the final, isn't it? There's so many good teams you've got to beat, so that you've got to have that bit of luck as well. So whether they're able to get the team out and get the luck again, we'll have to wait and see. But not many teams are able to go back to back.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things we're going to put out there in the next couple of weeks on socials is something about the most successful team in the country this year. And I've got 3 in mind right now. So anyone who's listening want to send us any more. We've got Ormskirk, obviously, who've won the Nationals, but they've won their league 3 times back to back. That's pretty successful. We've got New Farnley, the Invincibles of New Farnley this year, who went through their league without losing and then won the National T20. And then we've got North Middlesex, who won the Premier League, and I think their seconds, thirds, and fourth all won their division. It's ridiculous. You've got some ridiculously successful sides, and I know Hursty will like this one, Taff. St Cross Simeons, they've had all kinds of wins down there as well, won the Southern Premier League. But it just seems to be that when you get a club on the right direction, Callum, it just all goes in that one way, doesn't it?
Yeah, like I say, it's that complete synergy between not just the first team, like it's not just a first 11 thing, it's everyone from the ground staff to the people who work in the kitchen at the club. Like it's just everyone singing off the same hymn sheet for year on year. Yeah, that's the root cause of it. I think it's not just, I think, we've seen, especially certainly in the Liverpool comp, there's teams that are, this is not, no mean disrespectful to clubs and stuff, because it's you want to pump a load of money into your team, then fair dues. But what you don't get is that kind of synergy, that everyone working for each other at all times to help the club more than anything. And the success is a byproduct of the hard work that people put in for that. So like I say, it's such a precious thing that Ormskirk have got, and I try and remind people of that, having played at a couple of other places, that it's rare. This is not normal. I try and remind that, certainly like the younger lads that play in the first team, is that, savour this, because it's not always like that at all. So yeah,
absolutely. I got one final question. I'm going to get in trouble for this, Hugh. Calum Turner, as national champions, do you think Ormskirk could fancy a one-off for the Premier League Super Cup against the national T20 champions, Newfoundland?
In Dubai.
Even though, by the way, I've been told that Newfoundland got no chance with the amount of cricket they're playing already. But I'll put it out there, Mr. Alex Lilly, anyway. What do you fancy, Callum?
Oh, we try and take on. I'm sure if you ask Gary Knight, you pose a contest to Gary Knight, he'll take it with two hands and try and run with it. So, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. To be fair, Hugh, Lils has said to me from Newfoundland, if it's all expenses paid to the Middle East, he's up for it.
I know. Well, that's the only reason I'm going as well. So,
yeah, but I'm thinking Middle East, Ormskirk, Newfoundland. Middle East could be
Cayman Islands,
same side, couldn't it? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, offer just draw a line and plonk straight in the middle, something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bit of beach cricket.
We got to find out who the best club in the country are. But the question is, Hugh, would it be T20 or 40?
30 overs.
There we go. Keep it easy. Keep it easy, definitely. And if anyone
what was that, Matt? Time game?
Yeah. And if anyone needs a sub-pro, Taaffe will do it.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Most Hey, Callum, absolute pleasure to have you on board, mate. You've had an incredible weekend. Ormskirk have had an incredible weekend. For us, Hugh, capped off a season rather nicely, I think, mate.
It was fantastic. I mean, what a day. Thanks to the MCC.
Yeah, thanks to the MCC. Thanks to everyone at Lords, because like you say, didn't matter whether you're a player, a spectator, or just us numpties going around with cameras. They looked after us, and just everybody was so nice, weren't they, Hugh?
Yeah, tell you what, that soup was good as well.
I was going to say, what was the teas like?
Yeah, not bad. Well, teas were better.
Yeah, outstanding. It was. Yeah, the soup was for a cricket team was
Did you have the potato and parsnip like us?
No, we had soup. No, it was carrot and coriander, I think we had.
Oh, they got a different soup over in the
pasta bolognese and stuff. So, which half of our lads kind of had their mind on bowling. So, it was one of them. But yeah, I definitely sat down for a good half an hour to put my feet up and recharge before we went out to field. So
you might only ever get to eat a tea at Lords, so why not?
Exactly.
Yeah,
like I said.
Absolutely. Great to have you, mate. Taaffe, not a lot to talk about with you this week, but great to have you as always. I'm sure we'll find one or two things to talk about with you in the next couple of weeks, because there's still a lot to go on over the winter, isn't there, Hugh?
Well, we look forward to hearing about how all the Cric X lads go out in Australia. There's plenty of them going out there by the sounds of it. There's something else going on over there in the winter. I'm not sure what it is.
No, mate, no idea at all. Just out of interest, Taaffe, what sort of numbers have you got out there this year now?
Over 350.
Just ridiculous.
So there's an awful lot of travelling. So they're all set to travel this week, really. This week commencing the 22nd. So it's not a bad time to go out. Is it Ashes, cricket, and F1, tennis?
Can we get the location services set up so we know where they all are? And then on 26th of December, they'll all just come together in Melbourne. Because everyone we talk to is going to be in Melbourne.
Yeah.
If they can get a ticket.
If I told you how many people have asked me for a bloody ticket, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Definitely so. Hey, good to chat, boys. Thanks, Callum.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back with the Premier League Cricket Show next week, as always. We'll decide what we're going to talk about when we get round to it, Hugh.
That's it. Yep.
Absolutely. All the best, guys.
Cheers, gents.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NCCA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Love espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew? With the Ninja Luxe Cafe, if you can crave it, you can brew it. Espresso, balanced. Drip coffee, rich. Cold brew, in a flash. With Barista Assist technology, you brew with no stress and no guesswork. And make perfect silky microfoam hands-free from dairy or plant-based milks. Bring the coffeehouse home and unlock your favorites with the Ninja Luxe Cafe.